Hi, travelers. Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot, and I'm going to bring you a short full moon reading. Let me get my cauldron going here. Um, call down the guides, and I'm just going to lay a quick 9-card spread using the Marseille Tarot. Not the Marseille Tarot, the Rider-Waite Tarot. So I'm trying to get myself back up to speed. My leg is much better, but my foot is not. I'm having real issues with my foot, so we shall see how that plays out. Those of you who have loved ones in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Barbados, Antigua, Turks and Caicos, my thoughts and prayers are with your family there who are right now going through Irma. As you guys know, I just went through Harvey. I don't never want to go through another one of those, but you know, it is what it is. Hurricane season lasts from the end of July until November. There's another one in the Atlantic named Jose. I'm hoping he doesn't come anywhere near the American coast. So we shall see. We have a full moon in Pisces today. And I think Mercury either stationed direct yesterday. There's a couple of planetary transits that were kind of important. For those of you membership website members, it's in the Transit Watch for the full moon Pisces post that I posted the other day. And also, I think one of the big things, and I don't think I've even said this, is that Saturn went direct on August 25th. So you Sagittarians out there who have been going through the thick of it, having Saturn sitting on your sun, you know, it's going to start lifting. Scorpio suns, get ready because Jupiter's getting ready to move into your sign. He's been in your 12th house for the past year. Hopefully doing his magic behind the scenes for those of you who've been able to attune to that and to see what needed to change, what kind of luck, what's going on for you there. He's going to be moving into your first house, and it will be something to see. For Sagittarians, Jupiter will move in October. Jupiter will move into your 12th house. Remember I was saying to you that you get Saturn for 2 years, and then after Saturn leaves, then you get Jupiter to come in. And so what kind of how the universe works it is you get 2 years of hell with Saturn. Okay. Then he moves on to another sign. Well, in the meantime, Jupiter comes behind him, and he's there to kind of heal all of that crap that may have come up during that Saturn cycle that you were in. And then he will move into your first house. Okay. And it's going to feel like a real weight. So hang in there, Sagittarius. All right. Our first card down was 7 of Swords. Let me get another good shuffle on this. I think I'm burning frankincense is what that smells like. The Hierophant. Oh, that's an odd combination of cards. The 6 of Cups. Huh. The 3 of Pentacles, and I will show these to you. The Star card. The 5 of Swords. Let me blow those down there. And there's only so much I can get in the frame, so there's the 9 of Cups. Wow, this is a strange energy. Here is a King of Wands. And then a 9 of Swords. Well, I have 2 9s, 1 Court card. So we're going to take it that this is a reading about a fire sign male, concerning a fire sign male. It could also be a female as well, whether this is same-sex or heterosexual. Underneath, I have the Page of Wands. Now, I only have 2 major arcana, and they're next to each other. The Star card here, let me show you those cards because somebody's invariably going to email me. I can't see them. 7 of Swords, the Hierophant, the Six of Cups. There's our Sun in Scorpio card. The Three of Coins, the Star card, which represents the sign of Aquarius, and we do know we have the true South node in Aquarius, but it also represents Venus, and Venus is going to be moving into, I think it's Virgo as well here pretty soon. Then we have the Five of Swords. Now, what's interesting about this card is that it represents the energy of Venus in Aquarius, okay? And the reason why I bring you what the energy is all about, it also kind of portends a date. I can no longer see the dates on these. Sometimes they come back to me, sometimes they don't. Here we have the Nine of Cups, our wish card. This is the energy of Jupiter in Pisces. King of Wands, and this is going to represent, as I said, a fire sign. So a Leo, a Sagittarius, and or a Aries. And then Mars and Gemini energy. This is our Nine of Swords. Now, I always take note of when numbers repeat themselves. So let me take a look at the 2 9s here. And we're going to start with multiples from here. It says 2 9s. One of you needs to spend time alone. Well, I don't know. Let's take a look at because there's only that one court card. So in one sense, we can perhaps infer that the person is already alone, but I don't think that's the case. I think this is some kind of, if not a triangle, quote unquote, situation in terms of a romantic situation, that's kind of implied here in some way. But this could also have something to do with business, okay? In a sense where the two are interconnected. The 2 9s here. Then I'm going to take a look to see if there's any meaning of these pip cards on the side of these two court cards here. All right. So 2 9s appearing in a reading suggests a house move and or a change of address. I should know that. Now, let's see. Okay, that's all that says about that. So let me go to the 7 of Swords here. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. Let me go to the 7 of Swords. I want to see if there's a meaning of the 7 of Swords next to the Hierophant or the Star card. And then I will check the 5 of Swords and the 9 of Swords because they all touch the Star card. Okay. So we're simply looking at the placement being next to, okay, there's no placement. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Speaking about it being near the Hierophant or the Star card. So let me go now to the 5 of Swords here. Nothing about that. And now I'm going to look at the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords. When the 9 of Swords appears in a spread next to the star, it asks you to have faith and be grateful for the gifts already received in your life. Gratitude should be the attitude. And we see this king here looking at these 9 of Cups. Appearing next to the star in a reading, the 9 of Swords is telling you that all is not lost, and you are asked to have faith and trust. Things may not seem as though they are going as you would like at this moment, but this will turn around in quick time, so keep faith. Okay. Now I'm going to look at the 3 of Cups and the 3 of Coins. I'm sorry, the 6 of Cups and the 3 of Coins. Okay, Six of Cups. Let's see if it tells us something next to either the Hierophant or the Six of Cups next to the Hierophant is asking you to look carefully at all of your close relationships. Some adjustments may need to be made. Well, I would say so. Okay. Next to the Hierophant, the Six of Cups tells of meaningful relationships that are currently shrouded in misunderstanding. Misunderstanding card. Okay. Now, I'm going to go to this Six of Cups. I'm sorry, this Nine of Cups. I just looked at it, I think. I don't remember seeing anything next to the Star card. In one way, it kind of really speaks for itself. Now, I'm going to look at this Three of Pentacles. I know you mean, what do you mean? That's a Donald Trump statement. It speaks for itself. It's just that. It really is talking about the kind of energy where if it can be maintained harmoniously, if even not with another person, but just within yourself, you're going to end up getting exactly what you want. But this card says it's not going to come in the manner that you think it is. I think this card is more of a fear of it not happening at all. And this is why the Six of Cups next to the Star card is very important, that you maintain the faith. Even the Nine of Swords, that's what it's telling you, to maintain the faith. The Three of Pentacles. And that can be difficult depending upon the circumstances in which you find yourself. You know, on what end of the stick are you on, right? Okay. So here we go. I do feel that whatever this situation is, if you have, in effect, it has been a miscommunication with someone, perhaps someone's been acting rather shady, maybe they've been saying one thing and doing another thing. What I am picking up, one of the old 14th century interpretations of this card is a home move. I do have the two nines. I do have the Hierophant here. For some of you, this might be a move perhaps back home to your childhood home or your hometown. Maybe it's a move to take your kids out of one environment and put them in another environment. The Hierophant represents institutions, so we're looking at banks, we're looking at colleges, the military, hospitals, universities. It's about higher learning. It also represents the sign of Taurus. So this is about your personal finances or your personal wealth or your personal stability. It rules that second house of your own home, apartment, condo, your own mortgages, your own loans, your own bank accounts, what you owe, what you pay, what you bring in, what you put out, your own personal possessions. So I will not discount that home move thing that we're talking about. But I also feel that in which case that message is clear that, maybe you have not heard back from the people. Maybe there has been some, particularly during this Mercury retrograde, there has been some kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say misunderstanding, but there could be something wrong with the contract, or maybe you caught something or somebody else caught something. Maybe they were trying to maybe sneak, a few extra points in on the loan for you or something. And I think that you were able, in one respect, at first maybe you weren't even sure that you were going to be able to get that, money to go to the bank and ask that. You were able to do that. You're getting ready to start doing whatever it is you're going to do, and then it's like, scrooge, there's a halt on it. Maybe somebody has changed their mind about the price or something. Some terms and conditions have changed, and this has thrown some miscommunication into the picture. Maybe this King of Wands person is the person who can come in and fix this situation. Maybe you're still waiting on him. Maybe there's something that he needs. He comes with the energy of the Hierophant and the Star. So in a positive aspect, this is going to be a fire sign male or somebody who really maybe knows his way around banking and finances and loans and things of that nature. But you're just kind of waiting and you're worried that that decision will not go in your favor. I feel that it will. Okay. That's on the house issue. It's not going to be easy, and it could take a lot longer than what you think it is. Okay. Think it will. So just try to maintain the faith and claim the loan, claim the home. Okay. Now, the other story that's coming through, it reads like perhaps there has been some deception in a marriage. That's why we're being asked to look closely at all of our relationships. I do feel in one respect there is someone in the midst, perhaps of a committed relationship or a marriage, who is not being above board. There's something going on that is not above board. The reason why, and I think it's somebody that you know. We have that card there. Okay, that childhood card. So not necessarily that it's a friend from childhood or what have you. To me, that card just sometimes shows up as somebody that you know very well, who's a close friend, could be like a childhood friend or could be like a sibling to you. The reason why I say there's something not above, I have these references of threes kind of stuck out here right on the side of the Star card. And it kind of speaks as though that something was being built behind your back and somebody thought that they were getting away with that. Okay? And indeed, for a while, they had been getting away with that. Okay? But suddenly, we have this energy of the Star card. Now, the Star card does represent Aquarius, and it does represent Venus, but it also represents the astrology and the cosmology of it. So if I look at it from that standpoint, we know that Venus is going to be moving. She had been in, I think, her home sign, because this card represents Venus as well. Venus rules two signs. It rules Taurus and Libra, the partnership marriage house. But in the constellation of Pleiades, and I think that's correct, and I'm sure it's probably not, and somebody's going to maybe come up and say something, the morning star is Venus, okay? But it also represents the energy of Aquarius, because the ideals are supposed to be humanitarian. It's about really being able to maintain your own cups and show exactly who you are. It is about maintaining faith with the cosmic, with the divine, with God, with Jehovah, with Allah, with whomever it is that you choose to hold faith with. This is asking you to show that spirit, that energy, who you really are, and have faith that that entity is going to shed light in all factors so that you really can be who you are. I do feel that something is going to be revealed to you. And it is going to cause some kind of upset, because all of a sudden Venus and Aquarius, and those two energies just don't go together. Aquarius is really that energy. They're very, very freedom-loving signs. They don't like being fenced in. Sometimes it can be hard to pin down in a relationship. Because this is the swords, this kind of tells me that this is somebody who's trying to evade the situation. Maybe something has already been revealed. There's already been an argument. Maybe in one sense you won. You like, man, screw that, and you walked out. Okay, whether male or female, same-sex, heterosexual. Okay, but that card is also sometimes the card of, is it really worth the battle that you're fighting? Sometimes this could be about staying in a relationship or staying in a situation that you know is not good. And everybody done told you that shit is good. But for whatever reason, you got it stuck in your head. Well, I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm going to show them because what they telling me is not true. Or because you stay because you don't want anybody to say to you, well, I told you so. Right? So is that really, are there any winners in either of those scenarios? Not necessarily. But I think that it is this Nine of Cups which sits in such a pivotal position. And the reason why I say that, it is the last card down on the Nine of Cups. The last card down on the vertical column. The first card out on the vertical future row. Now, In one respect, and looking at this King of Wands with his back to this Nine of Swords, this too could be some type of avoidance of something. Something that someone's trying to push underneath the rug. This is the card of worry, anxieties, nightmares, and fears. This is the gerbil on the wheel, something that you're worried about. You just keep worrying about it. Keeps going over and over. Obsessive thoughts. It also is the energy, Mars and Gemini, of speaking before you have all the facts. You know how some people just say something out the side of their damn neck and it just fuck everything up and they don't got no proof behind whatever it was that they were saying? Okay. Or, you know, the one smart kid in class, the one that everybody hated, and he's always getting the answers right, but then one day he just shoots his hand up, sticks his hand up, and answers a question, and it's completely wrong. Why? He's so used to getting all of his answers right that he didn't bother to check his facts. Okay? So it's one of those situations. Either way, this King of Wands has his back to that. So either he is trying to maintain his focus on looking at really what it is that he most wants and desires. And he's doing his level best to, I mean, look at the difference of the two cards. I mean, literally, they're like night and day. So either he is trying to himself maintain his own faith, or there is something that he doesn't want to deal with, but it is bugging him. Okay. Now, the overall energy of this is the Page of Wands. And so when I say to you, I feel that something will be revealed or something will come to light. You are going to hear some news. I do believe so. We can see that there's already been some suspicions, perhaps some doubts, being of two minds. See, that's still two swords there. And look, this person's got two swords too. So it's kind of like there's a vacillation between, is it true? Is it not true? Will I get it? Will I not get it? One of those kinds of things. And then the energy comes to this Nine of Cups. It is this Six of Cups, Three of Coins, Nine of Swords. That is quite interesting to me, because we can see that things are rather harmonious, rather lovely. And I sometimes see that card as getting a gift. Sometimes I've seen this card show up when you're trying to do some remodeling around your home or redecorating or something like that. And, you know, maybe this is, you know, you've gone to get some kind of professional help. You know, you've been looking at, I don't know, fabric and paint and you know, whatnot. But it also speaks to, excuse me, to the start of something. Threes speak to the start of something. So we have two people going to a third person. This person obviously has a bit more knowledge. He is on an elevated level. He's standing higher than they are. Okay, he is a craftsman. He is the expert. He knows what it is that he's got to do. He's looking at those plans and he's telling them, yep, I can do this, I can do that, I can't do this, can't do that. It's going to cost this, it's not going to cost that. Okay, one of those situations. At the same time, I feel this Nine of Swords is really kind of, because this row ends, this vertical future column ends with a Six of Cups, a Five of Swords, and then a Nine of Swords. And it's like, for some of you, suddenly the situation goes from great to what the, and then I don't even know what happened. So we're going to pull Sibillas. And I honestly think that there's this, you know what, no matter how you look at this, and that just leaped off the page, leaped off these two cards for me. The Seven of Swords with the Hierophant. This is about a contractual issue. And if we want to take the romance out of a marriage, what is a marriage but a contract? It's a contract between two people. It's a contract taken before the community, before the church, in the eyes of God. It is a contract. And either way, there's something wrong with the contract. There's something that is either not being seen, that has not surfaced yet. Maybe you know something is not right. You can't quite figure it out. And I still say, in one respect, on that relationship side, that this king is trying not to deal with something. I don't know what that will be. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Sibillas and I'm actually going to lay 3 cards on this Seven of Swords and the Hierophant. And indeed, for some of you, whatever this Seven of Swords, this sneaky behavior, this lie, this deception, this voided, rescinded, bad contract is, it is going to be revealed to you. Okay? And I think some of you know that. Why? The star provides clarity, and that can be your intuition speaking to you. Okay? All right, let me get a good... I just feel like I'm not even making any sense in this reading. I kid you not. I just feel like I'm not making any sense. Okay. Let's pull. I'm trying to get a really good shuffle on these. I haven't touched the cards since the last open reading that I gave. I don't even remember when that was. I feel in a time warp. Y'all know most of the time I don't know what day it is and what time. Sometimes I don't even know what month it is. But this is just a really, I think it's that Piscean full moon energy. Pensiero, the Yardro, and the Messaggere. Okay. The Pensiero is all about thought, meditation. Remember, you're being asked to look at all of your relationships closely. And for some of you, this is a twofold kind of a thing. You're dealing with both perhaps some type of relationship, contractual, fiddle-faddle. And then for others of you, it's going to be one or the other. But I feel that for some of you, it is a twofold. It is also a romantic relationship and some kind of business thing. Maybe this is about you've been trying to save your relationship, save your marriage. You've been going to counseling, but you know, it's still just not right. Well, the case may be that now you're really starting to know that, look, it can't stay like this. So maybe you're trying to decide if you're going to divide up or split that property. Ceres has left Cancer and has moved into Pisces now. Okay. For those of you who are on the website, go back and read that article on September and was it Complicated Relationships? Read that, read it, and then look at your charts. Because we can see that whatever this person has been meditating on and thinking about, in one sense, it comes to no good. It's like it's taken away. That's the thief, the Yardro. This is a negative change coming in. There's that message. But what's interesting is it falls on the Two of Swords. And it's almost like you're not quite sure what to believe. And this is a message from far away. Look, there are the 2 keys at the base of the Hierophant's feet. And most definitely, if we're dealing with Sagittarian energy here, Sagittarius rules messages it rules the masses, it rules the law, it rules foreigners, people who live at a distance from you, or something of that nature. Okay, I feel like I'm not making any sense, but y'all know what I mean. It's not making no sense. I want to look at this. I'm going to look at these 2 cards together, the Star card with the 5 of Swords. All right. So, you know, either way, those 3 cards, whether this is a house loan issue, as I was saying, if this is a romantic relationship issue or a marriage issue, those 3 cards still stand. Remember I said at the beginning that, you know, you get it together and then it's like something crops up, you know, and then it kind of falls apart. But the main message of the card still, I think, is these two, which is these two cards, is saying to you, have faith. Okay? You're going to get what you want. You're just not going to get it in the way that you want it. And for some of you, you may not get what you want. But what you may not realize right now as you're going through that is that even though that may not have been what you wanted, it may end up being the best thing for you. The universe always knows better than we do. The Gran Consolazione. This is success and achievement after a long time. The Malinconia. And this is very interesting because the two people are sitting in the same spot, in the same position. I'm going to show you that. And the Prigione. The person who is constrained. They are limited and or confined in some way. Look at this. These two people are sitting in the same location. Can you see that? They're sitting in the same position. He's dreaming of riches and wealth and peace and love and harmony there. She's sitting in the same spot, only she has flowers and she's mourning the loss of something. See the cross? This is the sadness and the depression. There is the Prigione, the man constrained. Now, and I would dare say that I think both people, he is constrained, I feel, in the sense that perhaps in a relationship and or the situation that he has placed himself in or finds himself in. She is constrained herself being in the situation. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Okay. Let's pull 3 more cards. And we're going to pull these 3 only on the 9 of Swords. Now, again, if this is about a house deal, a loan, some real estate property, moving, something like that, just know that those 3 cards are saying that right now the situation's it's a Mercury retrograde. I can't tell you the kind. I was trying to do a reading for Miss Rebecca Sparks the other day, and nothing was working for us. So, by the way, Rebecca, if you're watching this, please check your email. I did go ahead and just record that video for you, and I sent it to you. So, okay. What do I always tell y'all? There's more than one way to skin a cat. Ain't that right, Skinny B? Okay. The desperate jealousy. The l'amante, female lover. And the conversazione. Well, on the 9 of Swords. Now, remember I spoke about obsessive thoughts? Remember I said that? This desperate jealousy, this is, the meaning of the card is excessive attachment to a situation. It's not necessarily about jealousy, so to speak. It is about the energy of someone who's saying, you know, well, if I don't get what I want, I'm going to kill myself. Okay? That's not funny. That's a very manipulative tactic. But it really is just a way for them to pull someone back in to a situation. It's excessive behavior. Here is a l'amante female lover. Again, same-sex, heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of this female. And then conversations. Pleasant conversations. But it falls on the 9 of Swords. So I'm not exactly sure if this is telling me that there's this third party, the l'amante, is trying to scheme and finagle a way back. You see, he's got his back to her. And whenever I see a female card or even a male card fall in this position, this tells me that they're on the way out. Okay? But it could be that she may be calling excessively or harassing, or he's like, oh, damn, I thought that's what I thought that's what I wanted, but that's not what I want. And now it's created a whole different type of situation. But I also think if you are involved in this, you are in the relationship with this King of Wands, your fear, something that you are not able to let go at the moment, is that he's going to continue speaking or being with this individual. Whatever is happening, I think once Mercury goes back up to retrograde, into direct, I think once Venus moves into Virgo, we got a lot of planetary movement, and I'm really trying to get my hump back on and get my articles up for you guys and do the transit watches. So just kind of bear with me. I've got a Saturn article coming up for you. I've been working on it a little bit for the past couple of days. What I want to do now is, the reason I laughed when I turned these cards over, I didn't show you this. What was the main message I said this reading was about? Was to what? Have faith. There is a sacerdote. Now, that is the priest. He, too, is a psychologist or a counselor or a man of faith, someone you can confide in. And I think it's quite... it also speaks to a single man. But at the same time, this Page of Wands, pages are not just exciting news or news that can kind of breathe new life. It's a fire energy. Breathe new life into a situation. This card will sometimes show up when you're about to go on a new spiritual journey. So these two cards together are kind of, in one respect, are kind of saying the same thing. I think what it's going to require is patience. And maybe you're about out of that right now. Ask for, a little bit more help. And do what you can to make, and don't be hanging around negative ass people if you're going through some shit. Because, misery love company. And if you got a bunch of naysayers hanging around you right now, now is not the time. We're just now coming out of an eclipse. And a lot of times you guys are, like, oh, well, the eclipse is coming. What's going to happen? Well, there may not be anything that happens on the eclipse. It may show up 3 days after. It may happen 3 days before. It could happen 6 months down the road. It could happen all the way out to 19 years. There's effects because when I say that about 19 years, that's when we will have another totally solar eclipse at Leo at that same degree. I think 19 years from now. Okay, so that's how eclipses can affect you. I wonder if Anne's out there. I haven't talked to her in a while. And I need to speak with her. I just don't feel like I'm making any sense, people. All right, formulate one question in your mind. And hopefully the angel answer cards will be able to give you an answer. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to pull I'm going to shuffle that and leave it there. And then let me shuffle this. Oh, well, it just did itself. Well, isn't that something? And this would be a third 9. This is, if I want to say, it's the 9 of coins. A well-deserved reward. I want to check that because for some reason, because it's red, I always want to think it's wands, but it's not. It's coins. Pentacles. That's right. 9 of Pentacles. A well-deserved reward. So let's go ahead and pull a card here. Communicate clearly. Communicate clearly. And we know that with Mercury going retrograde, stuff can be all discombobulated, right? So maybe what this is telling you is just to don't lose faith, don't lose hope, and then be ready to say whatever it is you need to say in a very clear manner in whatever area this is talking about for you. You know, it's a general reading, but these messages aren't going to resonate with everybody. It says, the situation requires very precise and careful communication. Don't assume that others involved understand what you want or need from them. In-person discussions are preferable. But if that's not possible, make sure that your communication method is very thorough. In other words, somebody say, well, you know, we can talk about this. No, ma'am, I can come down to your office and sign them papers. Okay. This card can indicate that there has been a miscommunication that is creating a challenge for the parties involved. We saw that with that Five of Swords. By clearing up any misunderstandings, you can heal the situation so that everyone can start moving forward again. And that's kind of what that Page of Wands is saying. We see that that King of Wands has his back to that Nine of Swords. He's looking at that Nine of Cups there. He's like saying, you know, I know what I want. This is what I wish for. This, I don't want whatever that is over there. But whatever that can, and if this is you, you can't get past the fact, or you're continuing. Sometimes you accuse people of doing shit and they don't do nothing. Remember I said sometimes that card could be like somebody look like they're doing something sneaky, but they're really not. That could just be your suspicious mind, those obsessive thoughts. Okay? And it's created problems for you. All right. Well-deserved reward. Discipline. Gracious. Compassion and satisfaction. I don't even know how he climbed the top of that mountain, but there he is. Look, it ain't even no steps or nothing. I don't know how he did that. Your efforts are paying off. When this card appears, it suggests that you have seen or will soon find your relationships falling into place. It hasn't always been easy, but you had the discipline to persevere. In other words, don't give up. As you worked to create fulfilling relationships, you sometimes had to give more than you would have liked. But you've seen the positive results of that action. You kept the ultimate goal in mind. And so all of that Nine of Swords and that petty holding the gun to your head and threatening and shit, no, why? See, the king already knows what his goal is, and that's what he's focused on. And you can either jump on that bandwagon with him or not. Be proud of yourself. You've shown that you're self-reliant and confident. You're entering a phase of your life where your dealings with others will become effortless. Be considerate and compassionate in your interactions. There is less need for confrontation now. Diplomacy is the better approach. And maybe, just maybe now that I'm reading that, those three cards, the excessive, that all of that Nine of Swords and the desperate jealousy, we also see that that leads into pleasant conversations. You know, maybe you should be the one to just kind of go back and say, okay, look, I'm sorry. Or maybe he needs to, you know, I don't know what your story is. As you move forward, expect to feel satisfaction with your accomplishments regarding love and its many aspects. You are being blessed for your hard work. And maybe that's what that Hierophant is saying. You guys hear me say all the time that love and money are two sides of the very same coin because they both equate to value. They both equate to value. When someone loves, respects, and they value you, that's like gold in the bank. There's some things that money cannot buy. Okay? So that's it. I hope those messages helped you. And until next time, namaste.